Welcome to Real Vision. My name is Santiago Velez, co-founder of Block Digital Corporation, and I'm excited to bring to you today a very special guest, Natalia Karayaneva. She's the CEO and founder of Proppy. Welcome, Natalia.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
So I was very excited to get you on the show here to talk to the watchers about all the things that you're doing at Proppy, the exciting world of property and NFTs, and the use of blockchain technology in real estate specifically. But before we get into that, I would love to learn a little bit about you, how you got into this journey and found yourself here. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure, of course. I was born and raised in Russia, and when I was 19, I moved to Bulgaria, new European Union country. Then I tried to live in Dubai, UK, and then finally 5 years ago, I moved to Silicon Valley. In my past, I used to be a software engineer, a real estate developer. And so when for 15 years, I've been constructing properties and selling them primarily cross-border, I was wondering why had technology drastically changed everything we're buying today, but not real estate. I decided to move to Silicon Valley and focus on solving this pain for home buyers to acquire real estate.
That's fantastic. I'm sure a lot of our viewers can empathize with the amount of friction involved in real estate transactions, even domestically. I can only imagine that's even more difficult internationally. So what did you decide was the main pain point that needed solving? And how did you decide to form Proppy? What was it about the change in technology that you thought presented an opportunity?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, in the home buying process, there is no one single pain point that you can solve and then suddenly this whole 30-day of anxiety will disappear. It's a complex process, and that's why nobody was able to automate the real estate purchase process so far. However, we're getting closer to that with Proppy, especially with our recent NFT sale, where a home buyer was able to acquire a real asset within a couple of clicks.
Wow, that's amazing. So why don't we get into the details of that transaction? How does Proppy use the technology stack? First of all, how do you represent real estate on a blockchain, for example? How does that work exactly?
Yeah, so first of all, we have kind of three types of transactions that we process on Proppy platform. And the Proppy platform, it's been built for a couple of years so far. And we are processing traditional deals with dollars and mortgages, traditional deals, but with crypto payments, and then NFT sales. So when it comes to traditional deals, we record them all on blockchain via smart contracts. We've transacted so far over $2.7 billion in volume in the United States. And then when it comes to NFTs, we just did the first ever US home NFT'd. And behind both NFT auctions and traditional deals and smart contracts, we have Ethereum smart contracts that are built into the process, and consumer-facing interface wizard-like product where users can pay for the property, sign papers, and become homeowners easily.
Wow, that's interesting. So it seems like there's really three different verticals, if I understood you correctly. A lot of people seem to confuse blockchain simply with maybe some kind of currency payment or a simple smart contract. But what I heard here is that in your case, you can use the blockchain technology as a shared ledger just simply for the recording of the transactions and transparency writ large. It has really nothing to do with a token in and of itself. It's this shared state that anybody can reference of all the multiple parties that may be involved in the transaction. The second thing I think I heard was you can facilitate the transfer of value using traditional fiat currencies to settle the transactions, and then display them, obviously, to all the parties. And then finally, I heard that you can also accept digital assets in some cases as payment and credit those payments against the transaction. Are those all fair statements?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so now NFTs, it seems like, is kind of an additional product or layering on top of all these prior offerings. It seems to me that you are now essentially using the NFT almost as a registry process or a titling process. Is that a fair characterization?
Yeah, that's a fair statement. We're able to detach home ownership from the governments by transferring ownership of the property to an LLC or a trust US-based entity. Then we record this entity on the county. And then from that moment, the LLC could be exchanged only via NFTs, and we don't have to change the owner at the county level because it remains the same all the time.
Wow. Okay. So that's very interesting. So essentially, the buyer of the NFT has a claim or lien on that property, but the owner remains the LLC, and therefore it makes it much more liquid. It makes it a transaction that can shift ownership, at least with respect to this lien against the property. Is that the end goal ultimately, that the LLC structure would be, the ultimate holder of all the properties as far as the governance is concerned, the government, but all the individual NFT holders could transfer, buy, and sell between them. Is that correct?
Yes, that's absolutely correct. Till the governments will not outsource the recording of ownership to blockchain-based companies or DAOs, I think the industry and the consumer would prefer to have their ownership via LLC NFTs. It just makes sense. We don't escape from any government regulation. In fact, it's the opposite. We secure the transfer in an immutable ledger. After each sale of the NFT, we report to the county that there is a change in ownership of the LLC so that they know who are the new people now to be taxed in terms of property taxes.
Oh, that's very interesting. So all the secondary effects might be taxes, insurance, property management, all the things that come with the ownership. Those are almost a service that property provides on behalf of the token holder,
Yeah.
notifying the appropriate agencies, et cetera.
Yeah, and they remain the same. So it's not a way to avoid taxes, property taxes, or somehow combat counties and the government. I think we provide efficiency both for the government to provide a secure way for home ownership records and the consumer. Of course, we focus a lot on the consumer benefit.
Yeah, and that seems to be a very mature approach. I almost view it as, the next phase here of this asset class is integrating very closely with the traditional system and solving some of the pain points and the friction that it has. And therefore, you're kind of unlocking this value. You're making it a much more liquid instrument. So it's not kind of counter-revolutionary and we're going to eliminate title registries. It's saying that there's a service to be provided here, and we can use this technology to enable a better experience for everybody, both the counties and the individuals. Is that a fair characterization?
Absolutely.
And so this NFT in particular, was this minted in the United States, or is this an international offering? How did that work?
That's the first US minted NFT for a US-based home.
Wow, excellent. And was the buyer, if you're at liberty to say, was the buyer a US domestic or was it international?
Yeah, US domestic, an ordinary home buyer who was willing to invest in this specific city or location, not a profile of a typical young, crypto savvy geek.
Right. So that's extraordinary in itself, right? That this wasn't just some crypto fanatic or specialist. This is an average home buyer. How does the custody of the wallet or the NFT occur? Do they hold it in their private wallet or use some kind of third-party custodian? How does that work?
Yeah, well, they use their wallet, but because anytime when there is a transfer of NFT from one wallet to another wallet, there is a protocol that requires KYC of a property, know your customer. So we require the names, the address, the SSN number because of the real estate regulation. That's why it's not possible somebody to take over the wallet and just steal the property. Once you're the NFT owner, you're recorded automatically as the owner of the LLC. Now, if something happens, if you lose your wallet, then you reach out to Propi and we burn the NFT and we have to create a new NFT. So in a sense, we kind of become not a custody, but definitely an administrator helping you to keep your property rights.
I hope you enjoyed this clip and will decide to join us for the rest of the interview, among many others, on realvision.com/crypto. The crypto channel is 100% free. You just have to sign up. Look forward to seeing you there.